TNA Wrestling, this is so great. When you see all the action, it's just so great to see how they've evolved over the years. Tom, you're a huge part of this. You're calling all this action. It's so cool to have you. I want to mention this first, Tom. TNA Wrestling coming in Nashville at the Pinnacle, February 13th and 14th. What a better way to celebrate Valentine's? You can love TNA Wrestling. That's your Valentine's there, Tom. And they also have shows
It's
coming to Atlanta, which we'll mention, and New Orleans. It's just all good. Tom, what has it been like on this latest ride with TNA Wrestling? And just when did you start to see this thing really start to explode?
man, I think it was like Jordan Grace being in the Royal Rumble that kind of was the beginning, and like not to discount Mickey James being in the Royal Rumble in 2022, but Jordan being in the Rumble was like shortly before the partnership really became a thing, and you saw TNA stars going to NXT and back and forth, and it was just this feeling of like I think we're onto something here, and the exposure was evident. Like talking to people within our marketing department, years ago, they'd be like, "Yeah, like Tuesday, somebody would show up on NXT. The next Wednesday morning, the search results on social media would be, just through the roof." So it was incredible to see how that grew and developed, and now to be in this position where we're on AMC. It's great. It's really cool, and my friends and family are able to check it out on a regular basis on AMC every Thursday night, and it means a lot to me. But I think especially for the company, it's just another sign of progress, another sign of growth, and the challenges in front of us. And it's been really cool to see, at least in the first month, how the viewership has been really positive.
Access TV was a great partner for you all, but you see how things evolved, and now you're on AMC. And what you say in that, I want to touch on a few things there and all. How have you thought? The first show was good. Production needed some work. I mean, you've seen it on social media things, but it's a process, and now it's getting better. The second week was better. How do you view all that? And fans are just going to be picky and pinpoint everything. So just how does this go, and how does TNA get better?
I try and think about the phrase control what you can control. So it's not my job to march into the production truck and tell them to do anything. It's the other way around. I sit there at the desk, I'm an extension of the production truck, and I try and execute as best I can on behalf of production, on behalf of creative, marketing. I'm serving all these different departments kind of at the same time. So what I took away from it was just the energy and enthusiasm that our roster had going into that night. Like it was palpable backstage before the premiere, and then to see them a couple days later turn around at Genesis and absolutely knock it out of the park, it was incredible. And then for us to go to Albuquerque, New Mexico, a market we'd never been to before as a company, and we deliver some great shows that are rolling out right now on AMC. It's just been really special, and I'm very encouraged by the people that are in our company that are veterans in front of and behind the camera that are stepping up in leadership roles, and the people that are new to this that are learning on the fly. And that's any industry, Jim. That's the thing about professional wrestling, and it's the thing about this world, is that you aren't always completely prepared for opportunities that are put out in front of you. And that's everybody. And I know I've experienced that a ton in my career. I've gotten opportunities to call shows where I was like, I'm not quite ready for this. It's like, well, life comes at you quickly. So I think we're acclimating extremely well.
The acclimation process, which is very important. I think also, Tom, it's always so impressive to me, and I think not enough credit goes to you, to all the talent, the staff behind the scenes, and all TV wrestling, all streaming wrestling. It's not like a movie. You only get one shot at this when that thing is live, and if you're going live, and even in taped segments of wrestling, sometimes you only get that one live chance, that one time to do it as well. You can go back in the editing truck and the production team can try to do what they can. But what is it like working in that profession, and the respect you have for others in your field, and just what they're able to do and what you're able to do at that time?
First of all, in this field, if you put on a headset, you have my respect, because this is a tough job. To be a pro wrestling commentator is not easy. So I had to learn it coming straight out of college, where I had gotten my degree in sports broadcasting and wasn't even sure where my career was necessarily going to go. So I had to learn something new on the fly, and here we are 14 years later. But yeah, I think there's just so many different elements to it where you have to be nimble. You just have to be nimble, whether that's in front of or behind the camera. And for me, I love live TV. I love that there's no safety net. I love that it's in the moment, it's raw, it's palpable, it's intense. There's all sorts of things that feel like, the bullets flying and you're in the trenches and everybody's holding on, or, something's going great or something's not going so great. You're just trying to move forward as a team. And I think that's the one thing we've done here since this AMC deal began and since this new management structure came into play in the last 14 months. So it's been really cool to see how people have rallied together. But for me, I just love the live TV element and then learning, especially from a play-by-play standpoint, that if you miss by a half a second, then the moment's gone. So having that type of pressure is what we thrive on. And it's been just really great to try and deliver lyrics to the music this whole time.
Thursday nights, it's just a cool thing. You all are now on AMC, which is cool. What was it like when the ratings come out and you see the good numbers like that? Are you like the next morning trying to find out what's going on? Are you drinking your coffee and then finding out? How did that go for you the next day, Tom?
I just keep going with life because like the ratings are. I'll be the first person to admit I don't understand what half the numbers mean. Like they'll put up like 0.09 and then it's in this time. I'm like, okay. I am a wrestling commentator. Okay, I'm not a data analyst by any means. So if that's somebody else's job to look at that stuff and figure out how we can be better, that sort of stuff. And that's, I guess, ultimately what I take away is that if I hop on a call the week after a show, they're like, hey, we noticed this, we want to make this change, or hey, this was really good, we want to keep doing this, then great, you roll with the punches. That's just how this thing is. So it's all a learning phase for us right now because to the point you made before, going from Access TV, tremendous partner of ours within Anthem Sports and Entertainment, to now brand new partner with AMC. They have different wants and needs that we're trying to respect and trying to deliver on. So just every week, it's just trying to make sure that we can be better than the last week. That's my only focus. And as I'm having my coffee, I don't think about that. I just think about what can I do to be better that can help the show.
You're drinking your coffee. What are you thinking about? Penn State? Are you thinking about Penn State athletics? What's
A little
going on
bit.
here, Tom?
Yeah,
Come on.
a little bit. Yeah. After this past season, I try not to, but I'm at least optimistic about 2026. Yeah.
I mean, it's so cool. And I want to get back to, I want to really go into that because that's where you got a lot of your experience was through Penn State and going there to become a broadcast journalist like you are. What was it like back then getting involved in different programs and shows with Penn State and athletics and back then? Or were there some athletes too that you got to deal with back then who are now larger than life, bigger than right there playing sports?
It's been cool to see like players that I covered at that point in time go on to stardom. So for me, it was more, it was smaller because I was working with the student radio when I was at Penn State. So it's doing talk shows, it's doing voiceovers, it's board ops, it's those sorts of things of like learning the nuts and bolts of the broadcasting industry. Because when I was in school, I just wasn't quite sure where my career was going to take me. I had an idea of, hey, I'd like to work in football or basketball, for instance. I did baseball, I did hockey, I did rugby, did a little bit of everything. So it was just a matter of like, okay, well, you don't know where your opportunity is going to come. And one of the opportunities I had just before WWE popped up, I got because I was late to a board op because my alarm didn't go off. So I'm rushing in and my hair is disheveled. I'm in basketball shorts and a t-shirt. And this gentleman walks in and he happened to work for Juniata College in central Pennsylvania. And the guy at the station had told him, was like, oh, he's a play-by-play guy out of college. And he was looking for a play-by-play guy. So luckily he took a shot on a kid who was late to work that day. And I started working for him and I was calling men's and women's basketball and football for $50 a game. And then shortly thereafter, WWE materializes and here we are. It's weird.
So I think Tom has given us a good lesson to all the young folks out there. It's okay to be late. Yes, Tom?
Well,
That's the
no,
lesson.
set multiple alarms is the answer. Yeah, my alarm did not go off. I maintain that. All right. I wasn't up to anything nefarious or whatever. Just set multiple alarms. Protect yourself.
Oh, that's so cool. And Tom, it's so cool too. Penn State now is like a wrestling mecca as far as
I
amateur wrestling.
know.
Bo Nickal is a great wrestler now, was great. And also in this real American freestyle, which is professional wrestling. They actually have wrestlers and shows now, which is not scripted, not predetermined. This is wrestling like we see in the Olympics or something like that, freestyle. But it's just interesting to me. Was Penn State wrestling, were they pretty good when you went? I know it's been a recent rise for them. I didn't know how good they were back then.
I think I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the year that Cale Sanderson was hired. I want to say it was shortly after I graduated. So I graduated in 2011, a billion years ago at this point. So I think he was shortly thereafter. And the program was good, but once he was hired, it took it into another stratosphere. It's absolutely incredible. And to your point about Real American Freestyle, I have nothing but respect for Eric Bischoff. Got to work with him very, very briefly. And, I'd love to see Bo Nickal in a pro wrestling ring. I think that'd be fascinating. So, just as a Penn State guy in TNA to a former UFC guy in Bo Nickal, is he still doing stuff with UFC? I don't know.
Yes, he is. Yeah, yeah,
He
he's
is?
able to do
Okay,
both.
yeah. There's a ton of talent. He's a ton of talent. So, I'd love to see Nickal in a pro wrestling ring.
It's so cool nowadays where you see where all types of talent in various pro wrestling areas, pro wrestling departments that are able to do other things as well. And one thing I came across was you're a Philadelphia guy, so homage to Rocky, and
Appreciate
I
it.
just like to hear your comments about Rocky, but I also want your comments about Creed. And then tell us something. I hope I read this right. Something that you got involved in with that. Let me know, Tom.
Then I got involved in with Creed.
Creed? Were you in Creed? I read something, and when you read
I
things
was
on
not
the
in
internet,
Creed.
well, then
No,
there
that
you
would have been
go.
awesome. Oh no, I thought you were leading to like Corey Graves getting to
Now,
do
Tom,
something at
that was
a
out there. I read that out there,
local. Yeah,
Tom. Yeah,
first of
I don't
all,
know who.
I hate any opportunity where I have to put over Corey Graves. No, I'm kidding. I'm very, very proud of Matt Polinsky, everything he's doing out in Pittsburgh, the fact that he's giving back the way that he is. He's such a smart guy. I hate him to pieces, but no, I'm kidding. I love that guy. I'm so excited for his opportunity. But no, like, where did you read that I did something in
Yeah, I read
Creed?
something
That
on the
that would have
internet
been
that you.
awesome. I would have loved to have
I
done that.
know. Well, that's why I was like, I got to bring this up because it's Creed and then Rocky and then Philadelphia and all like
If
this.
it's on my Wikipedia, that is probably wrong. So.
I may have read it, and you know what? Yeah, and you can't go by Wikipedia. That's what everybody says, and I agree that that's probably where I saw it was one of the Wikipedia posters. Someone picked that
No
up from
worries.
there. Anyway, we will tie this though together, Tom. What did you think of Rocky and then the Creed franchise that came after Rocky?
I liked Creed 1. I admittedly didn't watch beyond that. I thought the first Creed was absolutely spectacular. The way that they continued the story was really, really impressive. I grew up such a fan of the first Rocky because it is this tremendous underdog story. And I know people point to Rocky 4 as probably the best in the series, and I agree with that. But I love going back and watching that first one. It's really special. And the more that you learn about it over the years, the investment that Stallone made into that and everything he did writing that film and making it into what it is today, like it's this incredible franchise. And there really aren't that many special franchises when it comes to movies and Hollywood and entertainment that stand the test of time. So for us as Philadelphians, we love we love Rocky. He's a hero to us.
Okay, so now I have to throw this at you. Did you run up the steps? Did you run up the steps, Tom? Have you gone down in Philadelphia and run the steps, the stairs?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I used to live downtown in Philadelphia, and especially in the pandemic when you couldn't go to gyms or anything like that, I would walk my dog to the Rocky Steps, and we do the steps every once in a while. Or I'd take myself down the steps. I would do that for some exercise. So a little bit limited, but like the art museum is beautiful. It's a great visit for anybody that's never been. So, and we're being told here in the chat by our good friend Simon that yes, according to Wikipedia, I was in Creed, but that's amazing. I don't
There
know
you
where
go,
that came
Tom.
from.
If Wikipedia says it, then it must
That's
be true.
awesome.
Then it
Yeah.
must
Oh
be
yeah.
true.
Just tell people I was. Just keep telling people I was. Yeah.
See, this is why when I try to do research, I always try to say where the information may have come from. And I try to write it down and all like this, and then also verify it. So now we see Tom was not in Creed. He didn't get a check. He won't be getting royalty checks from it,
I
but
would
he
love
did
one.
run the steps.
I was going to say, if somebody wants to just say I was in it, I probably should have just lied and said that I was in it. It was whatever. But yeah, never saw a dime from that. Never did anything for him. So that would have been cool. That would have been awesome. So if Ryan Coogler needs a commentator for anything in the future, I'm right here.
You already have experience now. See, that's the other thing too. You can say you have experience at
Exactly.
it, Tom. It's right there, so that they can get you. All right,
That's
we'll
so
finish
funny.
this up. We'll sidetrack away from that a little bit. I'm so curious. Joe Henry, NXT champion, what a talent. Mike
Yeah.
Santana, TNA Wrestling champion, what a story, what a talent. The Hardys. I can go on and on and on. TNA knockouts. I mean, Tom, really, we can go back to the early days of the TNA knockouts, and they really were doing what we see women's wrestling doing now back then. I mean, they were the ones that pioneered this whole revolution of women's wrestling. What are your thoughts of the current TNA roster? Some of those I mentioned, and we'll wrap it up with that. And your goals for TNA wrestling. What would you like to do? And if you have other areas that you'd like to work, I know this is like a long 3-part question, but other areas you'd like to work within the company, if those things have evolved for you.
Well, first off, the knockouts, I've said it for a while. Since the Knockouts World Championship was introduced in 2007, it's been the most consistent representation of excellence in women's wrestling. And it's been really great to see the opportunity that's been afforded to women for a long time in this company, whether it was the TNA Hall of Famer Gail Kim, fellow Hall of Famer Awesome Kong, likes of ODB, Taryn Terrell, Angelina Love, Tara. You've seen, I believe it was Brooke Adams, Tessmacher at one point. I'm talking a lot on social media recently, so it's been just amazing to see that progress. Before it was branded as an evolution or a revolution, that change was occurring in TNA wrestling. So this has always been a home for that. I'm just really proud of what our roster is doing right now, and I think there's some talented individuals that are on the cusp of breaking out. And I know Cedric Alexander might be a household name for a lot of people who's in WWE for a long time, but I'm so curious to see what his next evolution looks like, because he has a tremendous opportunity here in TNA wrestling as a part of the system. Bear Bronson, along with him, has a tremendous opportunity. I am very curious to see what Jason Hotch and John Schuyler of Order 4 are able to do at some point in the future. And our knockouts division, as we were kind of talking about before, I think Lei Ying Lee is just getting comfortable. I think Danny Luna is champing at the bit, and she's going to have an opportunity at some point in the future. You have a lot of knockouts right now that are young, gaining experience, and just looking for that appropriate platform. So I think that's the beauty of what it is right now. The knockouts division, it's wide open in terms of the competition. The tag team division with the Hardys leading the way, I'm waiting to see the competition that steps up to meet them, so that's great. For me, in terms of other places, I like the idea of whenever I look horrible and I need to go off camera, that there will be a role for me in wrestling off camera, whether that's in production or in some capacity. So for a brief amount of time in WWE, I had an opportunity as manager, and I was very young. I learned a lot of things that I would do differently at this point in time, but continuing to learn, gain experience, and whenever I am decrepit and horrid, I would like to move off camera for someone younger and more talented and be able to work behind the scenes. But hopefully that's a long ways away.
Yeah, Tom, I think it is a long way away. So that's good. That's a good thing, Tom.
It's nice of you to say.
Listen,
I
thank you for your
appreciate it.
time. Thank you for all your success. And
Thank you
all
for having me.
we'll
I
look
appreciate
forward.
it.
TNA Wrestling, AMC, Thursday nights. Awesome. You're going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, February 13th and 14th, March 5th and 6th in Atlanta, and also March 27th, 28th in New Orleans. Just you guys are going everywhere, packing crowds, getting good ratings. This is so cool. And hopefully we'll see Sly Stallone, who loves wrestling, at one of these shows, and he'll get to meet Tom. That'll be a bucket list for Sly, to meet Tom.
Then I can be in Creed 9 or whichever one they're up to now. I'd love that. Yeah.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Appreciate you.